Hello, dear guest. Today I'll be telling you of the tale of the One Eyed Vigilante, who was a woman that in her time had grown up losing so much when it came to those around her, passing on from many unfortunate incidents, such as disease, killed in the war, or even the elements itself. She had lived alone in the world, having those mistreat her and being called a devil's child, with many not accepting her to even do normal jobs in the town they lived in, having a resort to being a lady of the night, giving many who were willing to pay a night for excitement, most especially from the gang that ran the town. And one night, the gang boss, with a knife in hand, had went to the young woman and stabbed her eye, loving the screams of pain. And for when he finished with her, he left her be, having her cry alone. And for much time that came to pass, she had to cover her eye with bandages, as she awaited a new patron to be with for the night. And soon a man, with a coffin on his back, came to the town, with many looking to the man disturbed, to him carrying a coffin about, but the man himself not caring to the prying eyes, had went up to the young one-eyed woman, requesting a night with her, which she hesitated at first, but accepted to do the request, taking the man with her to her room, and believing it would be a night of pleasure. She was about to remove her dress, but before she got a chance to, the man asked of how she got her eye the way it did, with her staying silent, as the man said it is all right to tell him, as he, just by the looks of her, can tell she went through so much. Having her look to the man and feeling something that she never would have thought to feel in her whole life, and that was sympathy, especially coming from a complete stranger. And with that, she told the man everything she had gone through, tears falling from her cheeks, speaking for every moment of her life, and how she had her eye the way it did. But the man listening, taking every word she spoke, and asking if she wanted to be free and take revenge against the gang boss that hurt her. Having a look to the man nodding, with her wiping away her tears. And then, with this, the man helped her to be free, having them both leave the town for many years, with him teaching her his ways of gunslinging and teaching her everything she needs to know to survive the hellish wastelands. She made sure to take every bit of information to heart. And before they were to part ways as teacher and student, she gave him a hug, thanking him for everything, with the man having a simple, soft smile, told her to live on. So with that, the one-eyed woman traveled back to the same town years ago, and called out the gang boss and his goons to face them on the desert road, with the gang boss and his men coming out, whistling and taunting her for being a lady, most especially the boss realizing who they were facing. And maybe, after all this, hoping to stab her other eye after they gunned her down. But after that remark, gunshots went off, as the boss saw she held two smoking-barreled revolvers in both hands, like a blur. With the boss shaking, he looked at his men, who were shot in the head, and fell to the ground dead. With him trying to negotiate his life for the wealth he has, having him reach for his gun and try to shoot at her, but instead got his finger shot off that was holding the gun. Having him groan in pain and tried to run, but she holstered revolvers to take out a rifle that she had on her back and shot the gang boss's legs, having him fall to his knees in more excruciating pain. With her putting her rifle away and pulling one of her revolvers out, loading it with one single bullet, spinning the revolver's cylinder, walking up to the gang boss as he tried to crawl away. Before he was able to move any further, she stepped on his back to keep him still. It's saying, of all the pain he put her through, she wanted to make sure he begged for his life, having him do so. As she slowly pushed the hammer back of her gun, pulling the trigger, having a click sound off, with her continuing to do this over and over as the boss begged more and more, frantic, as his heart raced like lightning, until a single loud gunshot went off, having everything in the town go silent. As many of the townsfolk looked at her in fear or admiration, she simply got on the horse the gang boss owned and left the town, becoming the One-Eyed Vigilante. I do hope you enjoyed that tale, as I remember being told this by a man very familiar indeed, and how he was honored to help someone who can live a life to not have chains hold them down. And I hope to see him again, and you as well, my dear guest. And most importantly, of course, always keep that smile on your face.